o'clock in the morning on Thursday, the 16th of March, 1978, a Red Brigade's commando team has taken up position on Via Fani. A Fiat 128 station wagon with diplomatic license plates is parked on Via Stresa.
That's the one the leader of the Red Brigades, Mario Moretti, is driving.
At the same time, Aldo Moro's Fiat 130 is making a left turn on Via Trionfale onto Via Fani. The Alfetta behind him is his escort car. A Honda motorcycle passes him and heads for the intersection. That's a signal to go. You can see someone waving something at Moretti. He backs his car around the corner onto Via Fani and waits about 30 meters from the stop sign. Aldo Moro's car passes a newspaper stand that's about 100 meters from the stop sign. Moretti sees them coming and starts moving slowly towards the intersection. Now you see Moro's car. His driver slows and stops behind the Fiat 128.
Wait a second. Stop, please. It says here that at the stop sign, Moretti's car bangs on the brakes and screeches to a stop, forcing the president's car to rear-end it. The president's car, in turn, is rear-ended by its own escort car. That was Moretti's testimony in court. Marucci's, too. Moretti said he had the emergency brakes on because Moro's driver was pushing him, trying to get out of the way to the right. Marucci testified that the 130 repeatedly bashed the trunk of the 128.
That's not true. Look, there's a good 20 centimeters in between the two cars. No scratches, no dents, no skid marks on the pavement. It's just sitting there, which is normal. It's at a stop sign. The stop sign has been out 100 times before.
If they'd been banging into the other car, wouldn't Moro's bodyguards have been out on the streets? Guns out? Moro's escort was 5 men.
Yeah, but they don't know they're going to get killed. Look at the film again. Take a good look. Moro's car slows down and stops. Now, look at this guy in the uniform. He's walking down Via Fani, nice and easy, in perfect sync with the cars. At the stop sign, he's right here, right beside Marichello Leonardi. Moro's bodyguard is supposed to be lethal.
So he had to be eliminated first. Look, he shoots him, then ducks away. Look again. Shoots him and ducks away. The terrorist brings up his gun, then pops him before he can figure out what's going on.
Leonardi doesn't have a chance. The car hasn't even stopped yet. Leonardi's killer steps out of the way. 4 guys, guns blazing, come out of the hedge beside the cafe. The Alfetta driver's killed instantly. That's why his car rear-ends Moro.
According to police reports, 93 rounds are fired off from 7 different weapons. 2 of the shots are fired from the gun of the president's police guard, Iozzino.
91 of the 93 shots are fired by the Red Brigades. 49 from a single weapon. 49 shots in 20 seconds. I mean, that's got to be some kind of a record, Branko.
No, you can actually get off that many in a couple of seconds.
Really?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Let's talk about the shooter. Wide stance, arms held forward, firing in short bursts.
At 8:55 a.m., Pietro Lalli is on Via Fani and he clearly sees the gunmen in action.
Sì, stava con le spalle rivolte al bar Olivetti e quindi dava alla sinistra la mia visuale. Sparava con un'arma automatica.
Come fa a sapere che è un'arma automatica?
Io ho una certa conoscenza nel settore delle armi. L'ho visto sparare 2 raffiche complete. La prima era un po' più corta, a distanza ravvicinata, contro una Fiat 130B.
Via, via!
Sì, il cappello gli è caduto. E quello che mi ha colpito è stata l'estrema padronanza dello sparatore.
Vai! Attento a quello! Fermo! Andiamo! Vai, vai!
Alla fine della sparatoria La donna ha fatto un gesto così, come per dire tutto ok.
Alessandro Marini, a civil engineer, arrives on Via Fani a few seconds before the attack.
Sta fermo lì! Non muoverti!
Da una 128 sono scesi in due, l'autista e quello che gli stava di fianco.
Da questa 128?
Sì, mi sembra di sì. Io poi non ho visto bene perché ero dall'altra parte dell'angolo. Qui. Non opponeva resistenza. Anzi, quando l'hanno messo in macchina mi sembrava in uno stato di abbandono, di abulia.
Ma secondo lei l'uomo era ferito?
No, non mi sembrava ferito. È a questo punto che l'ho riconosciuto.
Lei ha riconosciuto la persona che stavano trascinando?
Sì, era l'onorevole Aldo Moro.
Dai! Via!
A un certo punto quello seduto dietro la moto Honda si è sporto in furia e ha guardato nella mia direzione. Era un giovane magro, col viso lungo, le guance scavate. Sembrava Edoardo De Filippo, l'attore.
There is a third important eyewitness, Luca Moschini, a medical student. Driving his Fiat 500 from Via della Cameluccia, he turns down Via Stresa, a couple of minutes before the attack.
No, ma la moto l'ho vista benissimo. Vicino c'erano due uomini in divisa, fermi sul marciapiede. Uno di loro era di corporatura media.
Minutes later, when the attack is in full swing, another Cinquecento arrives at the other side of the intersection, with an officer from Rome's First State Police Precinct, Giovanni Intrafaldo. He witnesses two uniformed men dragging someone towards a Fiat 132.
Dai, veloce! Smetti! Via! Portano via Moro, l'hanno ammazzato tutti! Torna dentro!
At the time of the attack, the president has 5 bags with him. One containing top-secret documents, a second with his medicine and personal effects. The other 3 are only newspaper clippings and essays of his graduate students. The 3 less important bags are left behind. The other 2 are taken and never recovered. So, here are my questions. How did the brigades know which bags to take when it didn't have time to check? Second one, why such a spectacular kidnapping? Everybody knew that the president went for a walk every morning near the Stadio dei Marmi in the company of Marechal Leonardi. Just the 2 of them. A kidnap in such an isolated area would have been much easier and would have caused less bloodshed. Third one. How'd the Red Brigades know with such certainty that the president's car would take the Via Fani road that morning? They knew because the night before they went to Via Brunetti, which is an awful long way from Via Fani, and slashed the tires of a pickup truck. Why? Because the owner is a florist who parked between Via Fani and Via Stresa every morning. If he had been there that morning, he could have really messed things up for them. Fourth, why did they execute the man in the escort car and not just take Moro? There must be another reason that no one survived Via Fani. And why were all the brigades who took part in the shootout wearing uniforms of commercial airline pilots, caps and all? Why? If you wear a uniform, it's easier for witnesses to identify you, which is what happened. And if you wear a uniform, it's easier to spot you in a getaway. So why wear them? I think it's because the commandos didn't know each other. So the uniform would keep them from shooting each other. So, how come they didn't know each other?
Brava, Fernanda. Brava. Why, Branco, why?
They were all Red Brigades. They should all know each other. Maybe in the excitement, a uniform just creates a bigger, safer picture. Soldiers wear uniforms in a war.
No, I think Fernanda's right. I think they didn't know each other. We know that the guy who fired the 49 shots came to Via Fani with Moretti. He got out of the 128, walks across the street to beside the Cafe Olivetti, and there he meets the rest of the commando team. Now, who is this guy? He fired nearly half the shots. He's as cold as ice. I mean, he was never caught. Who is he?
He was probably a special brought in for the job, and then gone, who knows where, to do it again someplace else. They hired him.
Because they needed somebody really reliable to be sure that they could get Moro out of there alive.
That's why the uniforms. He didn't know them. They didn't know him.
It must have been very scary for them.
Yes. It is scary. But there is something you didn't notice. That man in the trench coat. All hell is breaking loose around him. He doesn't move. He just watches.